The Drakkar Noir was the most elite fighting unit within the Dragonian military. Their ranks were handpicked and tested from the most promising Dak-al-Far youth, and then extensively trained by the finest teachers. They were instructed in all forms of martial discipline, including leadership techniques, political intrigue, and battle tactics. In addition, each student was trained in those specialties for which they showed exceptional aptitude. Great fighters became masters of their bodies and weapons, and those born with gifts of the mind were shaped and molded through teachings in academics and sorcery. Still, others were trained in the secret techniques of espionage and assassination. Few other details need be known, save that the Drakkar Noir were the most deadly and effective weapons that the Dragonian Empire ever created. Vlad Lucheron and his faithful companion, Darik Alawan, were among the ranks of those students aspiring to become members of that elite society. They and several others had completed the final tests of mind and body. This was their graduation day, the day when they would cease to be called students and become members of the Drakkar Noir. Of 100 pupils, only 20 had passed their final tests, and of those 20, only 2 would be given the honor of immediate command. The remaining graduates would join their elected leaders as allies and advisors within their command until the day came when they too would be chosen as leaders. It was a tradition of reward and position that spanned millennia. The ceremony commenced at noon. Many of the highest-ranking Dragonian officials were present. Foremost among them was Queen Afra Darla Chalet, Queen of Dragonia, and chief advisor for the Northern Reaches campaign of Fermanor. Also notable was High Council member Lord Lancorian Duranorden, first prince of the Empire. Lord Lancorian would become heir to the throne should his sister Karina die, and as such, he possessed great power. All told, 100 High Council members were present within the open cathedral of Drakthul-Akar, the secret meeting hall of the Drakkar Noir. The graduates had traveled from the Dragonian Military Academy at Shang-Tsung to the mighty Wyvern Castle of Shantu. Drakthul-Akar was a hidden chamber far below the protective walls of the castle. It was a place where heroes were born. The council members all wore the deep purple sashes denoting their positions of nobility. Silver insignia designated their military rank could be found upon their collars and left shoulder. None of the leaders present were less than captains, and several high commanders could be found. Their skin and hair were ebon, and many of them had long manes resplendent with gold and silver jewelry. Only with great age did their hair turn white, and these elders were treated with the greatest respect for their wisdom. Their eyes were as varied in color as the rainbow. Their eyes were a testament to their difficult past. The Dak-al-Far had a great history. Their forefathers had once walked among the clouds of Tempest, but in those dawning days, fate dealt with them harshly, and they were banished to live forever in the absence of sunlight. Deep in the bowels of Under-Earth, they faced many dangers and nearly ceased to exist as a people. But in time, they grew in power and learned how to wield the magic contained within the stony bowels of the earth. Ever did they yearn for the surface world and the wonder of the light, but so far from the sun, the gods of the light were of no help to them, and so they found shelter by embracing the goddess Lothdia. There, in their dark kingdoms built of their ancestors' blood, their bodies adapted to the strange energies that they found there, and their eyes learned to see in a world without light. They survived, and they conquered, and in time, they became the rulers of the dark. And when they deemed that their strength was great enough, they came again to the surface world and found not the gods that had banished them, but rather they found victory after victory. For who could stand against the masters of the night?